Vampire Diaries. You did Vampire Diaries for 2 years?
4 years.
4 years,
Yes.
wow.
And I was the general foreman on Vampire Diaries, which basically ran the show and the hiring and firing and making sure that all the gags were done. And but Green Lantern as well, Enemy of the State. There's quite a few in there that I just can't. I have to look at the list of what I've done.
Yeah. Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life, and through Kelly, we hope to inspire. I have Michael H. Clark on the show today, and we're going to talk about practical special effects, which is not something that I know a lot, so you can also educate me on, some of the things that you do and the hardships that go along. I like to mention the hardships because people don't really think our jobs are hard, and they are hard.
They're very challenging.
So you got into special effects how?
Basically, the long version, I started out at the local Civic Center in Roanoke, Virginia, basically pushing band equipment. And it just so happened the vice president for the 487 back then was the Southern Regional Vice President. And he liked my work ethic, and I basically was able to branch over into the picture industry part of it.
Now, talk about the difference between, because we want people to know there's a difference between visual effects and practical effects. So your smoke and rain and...
Well, basically, practical effects is anything hands-on, anything that's real. We're out there doing it. We're making the rain, we're making the snow, we're creating the explosion, anything that you can picture that would not be sitting on a computer. And
so I'm going to name a few sets that you've worked on. If you want to piggyback, you're welcome to, but you said at this point that look at your IMDb because you've worked on a lot.
Yeah.
But I've got Green Lantern, Vampire Diaries. You did Vampire Diaries for 2 years?
4 years.
4 years,
yes.
Wow.
And I was the general foreman on Vampire Diaries, which basically ran the show and the hiring and firing and making sure that all the gags were done. And but Green Lantern as well, Enemy of the State. There's quite a few in there that I just can't. I have to look at the list of what I've done to basically.
I said that's how you know when you've really done something, because one day just runs into another and it's just. I remember when I used to do back-to-back shows, and you got to a point where you just couldn't even remember the names of the shows, and people would say, "Well, how can you not remember? You just don't. It's part of your life."
It just kind of, after a while, it becomes a part of your life, and that's just what you do. It's who you are.
Right. Now, so you've branched off at this point. Last year you branched off and you are your own company.
Yes, end of 2017, I got an offer to do Scream 3, the TV series. I did that, and from that point on, I decided it's time to put it together and get out there and do it on my own.
Now, what's the difference?
The responsibility level. Now, anything that could potentially go wrong is now my responsibility, but in the end, anything that goes right, I now get the credit for it.
Yes, that's true. What are the dangers in what you do?
There's great dangers. For us, if we're getting into complicated places, you need to always be aware of your surroundings at all time. I've been in a couple situations, and I've been on a couple shows where there's been some serious accidents, and the accident in Savannah is a great example of always being aware of your surroundings and standing up for what you know is right, basically. And it can get difficult, and I can, keep
When you
going.
say standing up for what you know is right.
Well, just not being coerced into a situation that just because you're scared of your job, and do something that could hurt you and others.
Yeah, and that's with any job, and it's so hard sometimes.
Absolutely.
Because you have people over you that sometimes are bullies, and it becomes tough.
And it happens the higher up the totem pole you
Right.
go, to be honest with you. It does.
Right. So I have for you some Milky Ways. This is just to remind you that you're special.
Well, I've been trying to actually get away from the Milky Ways
me
a little
too.
bit.
If people keep trying to leave these. They're like, "Oh, I'll just take one." I'm like, "No, you take the whole thing, because I will eat
Pawn
them.
them off on me.
I will eat them." if someone, so as far as projects, what kind of projects do you work on? Do you work with just the average guy, or is it mostly?
No, it depends. As myself going on as coordinator, the next people I have in line will be my shop foreman and my set foreman, and those guys are highly skilled. They just don't come out of the, start yesterday. Most people I work with are 20 plus veterans.
Right, right.
We've been doing it for a while.
Right.
And we have a great group of guys that make it happen, and we'll go in and make the smoke happen. We can take and burn down a building or roll a car, roll cages, you name it, we do it.
Okay, awesome. Some advice to give to somebody that wants to get into this. Do you hire people?
I do hire people.
I mean, obviously you have a company, so
I fire them too.
Fire them too. Okay, so that's a perfect person. Somebody who wants to come work for you, what advice would you give them to be able to hang in that?
Skills. A lot of people try to get into special effects thinking it's all about pyrotechnics, and that's just one entity. On the class I just held at the Union Hall last week, I was trying to show all these new people, learn welding and fabrication, learn building and layouts. You should know all those things before you even attempt to get into special effects. Even mold making. There's so many entities to our world that you can just you can branch out and keep go for years. It takes years to learn this craft. You really never master it because you're always learning and revolving with technology, basically, and it keeps those who get bored easily. It keeps you entertained.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Is that because you never stop learning? You never reach the end of your. You never reach the end of your career.
No, I mean, one day you might go to a show and talk about it on TV, and you have no idea you'd ever do that.
Right. Yeah, right? And then here we are.
So my day is not boring.
So, guys, we actually talked to Michael about maybe coming out and doing a class for us. I think that would be really...
I would love to.
I think that would be really entertaining and really cool. So we'll see, if we get some spin on it. But if you have any questions, please comment below. And how do people find you?
MHCSPFX.com is my website. IMDb, Michael H. Clark. There's 1,000 Clarks on there, but you have to put the Michael H. Exactly. Okay. But that's the easiest way to find me. You go to my website, it's got everywhere you need to go for contact information.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so very much. And we hope this segment inspired and educated you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.